Y'all, did we love conference? Were we so hyped about it? Did you guys get cinnamon rolls too? Because I got cinnamon rolls and they were so good.
No.
You did too, TJ?
Yeah.
You didn't get any, Grace? I saw your snacks though. You had good snacks. You were
I did.
all right.
I did have the good snacks.
Yeah,
Salt and
you
vinegar
secured the cargo
chips.
in there.
Yep,
seen
so that was really good for me. Welcome to This is Kingdom. This is Grace.
This is Talon.
This is TJ.
And this week, y'all, we're just starting. We're starting with the big hitter, Think Celestial by the one, the only, President Nelson.
You guys, I love that it has the exclamation mark at the end.
I didn't notice that until right now.
It's so cute. It's like, hey.
Think Celestial with an exclamation mark at the end. That's
Yeah.
nice.
It's like, hey, before you go, think celestial.
Oh, like a commercial. I'm like, yeah, so true.
If you didn't get anything from conference, think celestial, which sounded like a lot of my
so
seminary
true.
students, right? What do you like from conference? Think celestial.
It's so easy to like act like you listen to all conference now because that's
It's
all you
so
have to
true.
say and everyone's be like, oh yeah, you were there.
Like you woke up, wiped the drool off, and oh shoot, prophet, he got a video up there. Think celestial.
You got it. You did it all. I love how he starts his talk out because first of all, I'm kind of a sucker for good advice. Like I just like love that.
Mhm.
And there's just something to me about like what people think is worthy of advice. You know what I'm saying? That like when you talk to someone, what they think the best advice they can give, I think that says a lot about a person. And I love that that's how he wanted to start out. Is he's like, I'm old. I love that he's like, listen, you guys, I'm old. I'm like, so true, dude. He is 99. That is ancient. And he's like,
I
listen.
so hope he has to get to 100.
Yeah, but I
That's
kind of
so
like
fun.
99 on 99. That's so clean. His birthday was September 9th,
Oh,
turning 99.
Yeah, that's a big birthday.
That's clean.
that is
you know?
cool.
But I love that he's like, listen, I'm 99. I've lived through a lot. Let me tell you some of the most important things, you know? And then he introduces this idea that's like the biggest tagline ever. Like you only need, it's just like 2 words. Everyone knows it. Think celestial. And it's cute and you get it from the beginning, but I've been sort of thinking about it nonstop. And I actually, when I think about it, I think about something that Talon taught me, which is really interesting because anytime I think about heaven, especially like the kingdoms of heaven, like celestial kingdom, what like is attached to the word that's automatically attached to that in my head is the word become. Because I think that's what this is about, right? The plan of salvation, I think that it's God's way of giving us a plan to become something more. The celestial kingdom, that is like a location for becoming. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting to me because I started thinking about that and like think celestial. And something that Talon taught me a while ago, I think even just in passing, is the importance of knowing like who you want to become. And like this idea of like, okay, when you're old or when you're gone or when this is it, like who do you want to have become?
I like that. Became nice.
Yeah, I just made that one up. But it made me start thinking like, I think that's all of a sudden what this means to me. This idea of think celestial is, okay, think about who you want to be. I want to become the type of person that is a celestial person. That's my end goal, is to be celestial. And so if I'm thinking celestial, I need to think about the type of person I'm becoming. And once that shifts in your brain, I think actually so much that you don't even realize changes. Because then all of a sudden when you're like, okay, well, should I go on a mission? Then it's not just like, okay, well, is that what I want to do for the next 2 years or 18 months? Then all of a sudden you stop and you're like, okay, wait, no, actually, like, who do I want to be when I'm gone? Who do I want to be when I'm 99 on September 9th? Like, who do I want to be on that day? And is the mission going to take me to that person? And if so, then I should do it. Or if you like think about like, what do I want to major in? And you're like, oh, well, I kind of want to do the easy one that I can get good grades. And then you stop and you're like, okay, well, wait a minute. Who do I want to be when I'm 80? Who do I want to be when I'm gone? I want to be a celestial level of person. Like that's where I want to end up. And then all of a sudden I feel like it's just this pause where you're like, okay, like I actually want to become something bigger than I am right now. And maybe that's all of a sudden like, you know what? I don't want to choose the easy route for college. Like I actually want to do something that's going to make me become something more. Who am I hanging out with right now? Are they the type of people that are going to help me become celestial? Who am I dating right now? Are they the type of person that's going to help me become celestial?
Ooh, hey, man, ask yourself, look in the mirror real quick, man.
Yeah, you know.
Slow down on that one. That's
like,
nice.
All of a sudden, it's just like this thing that like, it seems so simple. Think celestial, like think about what's going to be good. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, no. I think this is bigger than that. Like, I think this is the prophet saying, hey, you got to stop thinking about right now and you have got to start thinking about eternity. Who do you want to be forever?
That's so good. This is crazy, like breaking it down that way. Because
Yeah.
if you think about it, there's a lot of decisions that could be like tricky and kind of gray, right? Like who should I spend time with? Like should I go on a mission? Like all those
And
examples
two good
you gave.
answers.
And it's like those can be tricky, but if where you start is who am I trying to become, and all of a sudden you put your decisions in that context, it makes it so much easier.
Change your life.
Yeah.
Because if you're like, I'm trying to become celestial, should I go on a mission? No doubt, that's easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I want to become celestial. Who should I spend time with? Man, that makes it a lot easier to start seeing friends who help you become that and who don't. Like, it's so crazy because I think we start with the second step normally, you know, of who to be with, what do I do, all of that. But if we will always start with that first step of who am I trying to become, that second step gets a whole lot easier. That's so good, Grace.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of these two students, man, because in this process, there's like deciding who you want to become and where you want to go. And then it's like you start taking action. You know what I mean? Because anyone can sit here and be like, oh, this is what I want. And then you go and freaking do the same old thing that you've been doing. But I think like just taking action is such a big part of that. And I just keep thinking of these two students, my students, Ryan and Carter. And they're just so cool because, man, they've been through some tough stuff. They both lost their mothers. Their mothers have both passed away. But if you just met them, you wouldn't even be able to tell because they're taking so much action to live celestial and to think celestial. Like they're showing up to seminary. They hang out with each other and lean on each other for their discipleship, and they listen to the podcast. You know what I'm saying? That This is Kingdom. You know, and they're just grinding, and you could tell that they've wanted to think celestial and who they want to become, but now they're actually putting in that work to get there. And so I just love that.
Yeah, it's one thing to like think that, like, yeah, I'm gonna think celestial, I'm gonna do that. But it's another thing to like actually change the way you live day to day because of that. You know, and I think that's what President Nelson's trying to ask is like change the way you live because of this. And I have a question. Can I ask a question, or were you gonna say
Yeah, I
something
had a
super
question too,
important?
so let me see
I
what
have
your
a question too,
is.
so we have 3.
Oh, okay.
My goodness. Okay. Maybe they're all the same question.
Yeah,
If
that'd
it
be
is,
really
then we
cool.
know we're the most inspired
Yeah,
people ever.
I hope it
is. My question is like, what does it mean to like be celestial? Is that what you were thinking, TJ? Like,
Yeah, like what's the actual process?
Yeah, what does it look like? And like, why would I even want that? Like, let's break that
That's
down
my
a little
question.
bit.
My question
Why
was
would you
like,
want that?
why do you even want to be?
Ooh.
What's the reason why you want to?
Okay, so there's our question. What does it look like to be celestial? Why would I even want
We
that?
start with the why first.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense.
Cool.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first? It was my question, so I'll...
Okay, I just have it's just simple to me, man. Like once you just live and you figure out what it feels like to be living not celestial, I just feel like to me it was so clear to decide that that's not what I wanted. Like my why is that when I've been all in thinking celestial, all in, serving, giving, trying to grow with God, that type of joy and that type of quality of life has just always been so much more appealing to me once I figured that out.
Powerful.
That's like just my simple answer. It's like feeling both, like that quality of life is just 1,000 times different to me when you're thinking celestial. Your happiness, your peace, and even when you have tough things, when it's quiet and when you're in the quiet moment and you got peace with God, to me, that's worth everything.
Just that like inner peace then, huh?
Yeah,
That's
because
cool.
when you're not thinking celestial and you're just giving into instant gratification all the time, you just, the pain that you're feeling or you can't really be quiet inside because you're just trying to distract yourself, with all these different fun things from the pain.
This is what I think about. This is probably my personal why. When I think about what it means to like be celestial, I think of Jesus. I think of the kind of life that he lived because like he was the example of what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
He didn't live that long. What was it?
33
years, Like that's crazy to think. That's 5 more years for me. That's not that long, But in so little time, the effect that he had is psycho. And like the wake of goodness that he left behind him is like still talked about every single day by like millions of people. Like the individual lives that he touched and that he impacted and that he changed for good is crazy. And when I think about the kind of life that I want to live, like I don't want to like live and die and just have enjoyed my life and not have had any impact. Like I want to live a life that actually leaves other people's lives better, right? And so when I think of becoming celestial, being a celestial person, it's like somebody who actually makes people's lives better around them. And I want to learn how to become that. Like that's who I want to be, you know?
Cool.
I love that.
I think it's interesting because now I want to think about that second question, that follow-up of like, okay, so what does it actually look like? And the only thing I can like that just it keeps coming back to my head is just caring. Like the life of a celestial person is the life of someone who cares. They care about what they do every single day. They care about the people in front of them. They care about how they spend their time. They care about making sure people feel noticed and loved. And I think that when you look at Jesus's life, because I think you cannot have this conversation of what it looks like to be celestial without talking about him. That would be a miss, right? He's the only one that we like, the only solid example we get of someone who like really lived that. And all I can think about every second of Jesus's life is that he cared. He like walked around caring, and he wasn't ashamed about caring. He wasn't embarrassed to care. He wasn't worried about caring. He didn't care. He didn't mind. This is better. He didn't mind if people didn't care about him back. He simply just cared. You know?
So good.
Love that.
And like what I want so bad, it changes your day-to-day decisions in this way, where it's like, you think about the woman caught in adultery, like all Christ did was he gave some wisdom that like freed her, right? His wisdom is what like she needed in that moment. And I'm like, man, I want to be that kind of person that like when somebody's like trapped, when somebody's stuck, I have like the wisdom and the capacity to help them in that situation. And so if I wake up and it's like, do I want to study my scriptures? If that's my first step, it's not going to work. If my first step is I want to be a celestial person, someone with wisdom that can truly help people, and then I go to, do I want to study my scriptures? Like, oh, heck yeah. Like I need that. I need to find that wisdom. I need to find that direction, because maybe there's someone that I'm going to run into today that needs a little bit of help. Maybe there's someone that needs a little bit of wisdom. And if I can become that person, then maybe I can provide that for him.
You have got to decide who you want to be.
Yeah, I think my quick little like life hack on this is, I feel like for me, in order to think celestial, what it looks like is like you got to intentionally like stop and slow down from the natural flow. You know what I mean? Because it's not natural to think celestial. Like you got to really stop and take a step back. It had me messed up because my students, we do, you know, with acquiring spiritual knowledge in seminary, we talk about act in faith, eternal perspective, and divine sources, and we have our hand signals, man. Look at things with an eternal perspective. And they're like, Brother Pamasila, I thought of that. And in order to take a step back and look at things with an eternal perspective, the first step is stopping, taking a step back. So
stopping and looking at who do I want to be, right?
Yeah.
Good. And TJ has got the song that's just perfect for this, y'all. You've heard it, but you ain't heard it like this. Here we go.
Here it is. I am a child of God, and He has sent me here, has given me an earthly home with parents kind and dear. Lead me, guide me, walk beside me, help me find the way. Teach me all that I must do to live with Him someday.
See you next week.
Bro, that was good.